My day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Send your love out. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Bless someone. Love, love, love. I feel it. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. That's it. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Sing peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I feel it. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Now all three. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. Oh, and I get more love. I feel peace and I get more peace. I feel joy and I get more joy. I feel that sweet release. Feel love and I get more love. Feel peace and I get more peace. Feel joy and I get more joy. You feel that sweet release. All right. Woo! That's a good morning, Unity. Woo!
I start my day with joy. I start my day with joy. And as we can see, the energy uplifts. This is lovely. What a great way to begin. We call this uplifting. And this is what the spiritual home where we are here at Unity of Gainesville is about. We choose to honor all folks and all faiths, just as we are. And the other side of that, just as we aren't. Because here, with honoring, we use love as our path of discovery and expansion. And so just know that every time I've ever come to Unity of Gainesville, I knew I was welcome here. And I've heard from others that they too have that same sense of welcome and finding home. So whether you're online or whether you're here in person, you have made a wonderful decision to be here today with us. And on that, are there any newcomers? Because we love to recognize those who are coming to our family for the first time. Ah, great. Our prayer practitioner. Yoo-hoo! Yay! So just know that each time you come, if you choose to see us again, will be different. This we can promise, okay? We have here a new minister. I call him Reverend Ryan, and he is a force and an energy, and if you choose, you can go on the ride with us. And so, at this moment, I want to just mention what it is that has us coming back each time. And indeed, it is that we invite the gifts of others. So I am Rupali Robinson, you know that, most of you, and I'm delighted to be the Sunday service leader today. But we are inviting others to serve in the same way. So if you don't mind, just put your hand up or stand. We are very pleased to announce that next month you'll be seeing two new faces. Melinda likes Bigler and Bonnie. I said it, I have it written, Bonnie, and Melinda. Where's Melinda? Oh, and she's been on security. So Bonnie, I was more worried about getting the likes right, and I've missed the first name. I'm doing great here. Anyway, they're going to be up here next month, so please welcome the new faces as you see them. And at this point, seeing what it is that brings us together is the vision, the mission, and the core values. So if we look at the screen, we can say these together, and we'll start with the vision. Centered in divine love and wisdom, we joyfully create a world united in positive spirituality. Our mission, through prayer, meditation, spiritual education, and service, we put God's love into action. And core value. We are spirit-led. We are love. We are generosity. We are gratitude. We are inclusivity. And this is indeed what brings us back each time. So we have a theme. I have the theme to do first, an anchoring thought, don't I?
Let's do it together.
Okay. So the theme that Reverend Ryan has created for this new year of 2025 is based on the 7 chakras. And so just coincidentally, because Divine Mind knows exactly what is needed, this is a representation of the chakra system done beautifully in a mobile. The base chakra, the root chakra, is red. And this is brought in by Geo today. And it was just as Divine Mind knows exactly what is needed. What is the root chakra about? It is about that sense of groundedness, that sense of stability. The color is red, as I mentioned. And if you don't know anything about chakras, then it's simply thinking that we are more than this physical body. It is our energy body. It is our subtle body. And that subtle body has these spinning discs, these spinning wheels within it. And those wheels, whether we're aware of them or not, affect our well-being, both emotional and physical. And so for the next 7 weeks, we'll be focusing on faith. And faith, for me, is like the first chakra. It is that grounding that is the most essential spiritual quality that lays the foundation for all others. The anchoring thought we have here, we say it together. Can you see there? Okay. I, by the way, was taught to say that Mace, and so I'm going to say Carolyn Mace because that's how in the 90s we were told to say it. Therein lies the universal truth that puts us all on equal footing. Each of us must come to discover through our many life experiences whether we have faith in our spiritual purpose, in our very existence, or whether we fear the journey of life. This is contrasting whether we are going to make a sacred contract. Is the sacred contract we make aligned to fear, or is that sacred contract aligned to our spiritual purpose?
Thank you so much for that, Rupali. And it's such a reminder that, and I appreciate you sharing with us chakras. And as you know, this entire year, our weeks are grouped by chakras. Chakras. And so for some of us, it's like, what is that? Just know that whenever you say, my gut was telling me to go that direction. Or you know what? I don't know, my heart was heavy, right? Those are words that we use to just identify energy pockets, right? And so what chakras do is it's a beautiful Hinduism, rooted in Hinduism, which acknowledges that those energy pockets are just concentrated possibility. And so for the next 7 weeks, we're honoring our root chakra. Can we say root? Y'all hear that? Say root. You hear that? There's a grounding element to just the sound. It's like, right? Let's say it one more time. Y'all hear that? Right? So imagine what a root is. A root is something that's grounding. And so remember that the words that we use, they're nothing but utterances. It's sound, right? And so root in itself embodies the energy of what a root is. Does that make sense? So when we say love, love embodies the energy. We're just using sound, right, to embody that. All that to say, for the next 7 weeks, we're honoring our root chakra, which is faith. Faith. So as we hit the gong, I invite you to take a cleansing breath. We hit the gong for the very first time, acknowledging that there is only oneness. There is only that which we call God. There is only that. We hit the gong for the second time, acknowledging that we are the activity of spirit, right? So if spirit, let's just say oxygen. Oxygen is not dense enough to be seen, right? But we are. We are the density of matter. We are the physical activity of God. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but this is our reminder. This is our boost. This is when we go to the smoothie shop and we want to get a little extra vitamin C. This is our vitamin C this week, a reminder that we are the physical activity of what we call God. We hit the gong for that reminder. And finally, we hit the gong because, yes, there's only oneness. And yes, we are the activity of that oneness. But we have traffic and taxes and bills and you name it. The list goes on in terms of the things that we encounter in this journey. We hit the gong a third time as a reminder that in all of those encounters, we are to bring the truth of who we are. Always. We hit the gong for that reminder. All right. And so it is. Yes, and so it is. If you're joining us for the first time, and so it is kind of like candy paper, right? So if you got a Ricola or a piece of candy, it's like you take the goods out, and then the candy paper, you just kind of like just toss it, right? And so it is that same energy. It's when you know it to be so, it's done. We don't have to anchor our energy in the so it is, right? It's done. It's done. We reached our point in the service where we have our oneness candle. Okay, anybody in our community who is celebrating a birthday this week? Anybody had a birthday this week? Okay. Any anniversaries? We've been dating for 7 months. You name it, right? Any anniversary is worth it. Okay, 7 months is a big deal, by the way, okay? If you made it that far, you're doing good, all right? All right. Okay, do we have anybody in our community who has some kind of something to celebrate, right? Okay. All right. Go ahead and stay standing for me, Sean. Go ahead and stay standing for me, Gary. Okay. And lastly, we know in our physical bodies we have like healing journeys, right? That healing journey has a lot of different ways that it shows up. It shows up in our physical bodies, and it also shows up in our healing journey through grief. So if you've had one of those weeks, I welcome you, invite you to stand or just wave your hand. We see you. All right, for all those who are seated, just kind of look around, see those who are standing, and just know that there were arms waving around you. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply lift our hands and extend them, right? If you're joining us for the first time, this is just a reminder that you got the goods, okay? You got the goods. And so we're sending our love through our hands out to the people in front of us and those aside. And we say, we see you. We celebrate you. We wrap our arms around you. On your sacred walk. And we love you. And so, y'all, we're going to light this candle for all those who are standing and those who get a little extra love this week. This oneness candle is just a reminder that we are all one. We come from one spot, and we are always in that spot, and we go back to that one spot. Okay, we are always in that oneness. And then I'm not going to light it, but we have our red candle, which is acknowledging our root chakra, which is faith.
And so now is the time for community highlights, and I'm going to try to run these quickly. The first slide that will be up will be that announcing our new class on Zoom, taught by our licensed Unity teacher, Carla Palma. And it will be studying another Paul Ziegler text, the Book of Freedom. And on the information on the slide tells us that the class will start not this Thursday, but next Thursday at 7. And if you need the Book of Freedom by Ziegler, order it on Amazon. The second announcement, there it is, okay. And again, it's the 30th, which the 30th is your second Thursday, not this Thursday, but the next Thursday. And I have participated in these classes, and I enjoy being in them. Sometimes it's difficult for me because my own class that I teach, English as a second language online, runs over. So I get to her classes when I can, but it's the night that I teach as well. This today at 12:30, we're going to go into our prayer clinic, and again, Carla will be leading. We have different facilitators, but this week it is Carla's to do our prayer clinic. 12:30 here in the sanctuary. It is for everyone. It is not for the prayer partners. It is for the congregants, because we are opening up prayer to begin to understand how prayer is what we are, how we think, how we act, how we feel is nothing indeed but prayer itself being expressed. And so please come. They're always different because there are different facilitators. If you noticed online, please notice that I hope that you saw it this Friday. Dr. Christina Gilman's thank you, a sweet thank you for her gratitude to our community. And also the announcement that her husband Edward's memorial is here at Unity on February 6th. So please save that date. And I think that's like, I'm not sure. The next piece is the Seasons of Renewal Pot Love. And we will have a volunteer meeting afterwards, and you will be asking, we are asking us to get to that place where we are willing to sign up online. And the site is tinyurl.com/rise and renew. And it is here. So notice if none of this is clicking, we do have it in paper. It is available to you. And then Star reminded me to please remind you, surveys, surveys, please fill out your surveys. The surveys are simply a demographic of who we are and why do we wish to see this, with a couple of open-ended questions about what brought you to our beautiful church and then what keeps you here. Is this understanding that we can identify through the survey the needs of the church. So please talk to either Sally or Star. Both of them have that available. And then finally,
I asked Rupali to do we're going to do a little show and tell. Okay, so quick story. The other day, you know how universe works. I was led to, it's amazing. I was led to, believe it or not, I was researching this book, and I was like, I wonder if this author has a talk. And guess what shows up? Unity of Gainesville, Florida. So we had an author here about 2 years ago who was talking about consciousness. And so I'll talk more about it later on this morning. But in the talk, I couldn't help but notice our community. So our chairs were set up differently. I probably counted about maybe a dozen people, right? This is after COVID. And everything looked different. Everything, the setup, the curtains, this TV wasn't here. Everything looked different. Everything. And I couldn't help but acknowledge the growth that we have experienced, right? Not just in, physical bodies, but also like the expansion that's necessary. Because when you grow, you're actually retiring elements that no longer serve you. We bless them and we send them away, right? And if we're donating something, for example, right, it might still be in good use, but we say, you know what, this has served this purpose in my journey. And so we send it on this journey. All that to say, we are moving through beautiful growth, right? And one of the things that we're doing is we are introducing a potluck every single month, all right? And so for some of us, this is a wonderful opportunity to be in community. And then the other, it's been concerns about, okay, if we do a potluck, how expensive is it? I don't know if I can do it. So here's the thing, y'all. The potluck is an opportunity for us to say yes to each other, right? And in order for us to say yes to each other, we have to do a little bit more in terms of our cleanup. Can we say cleanup? Can we say cleanup? So if you bring a casserole dish, right, instead of it being cleaned by a couple of people, we're going to take that casserole dish with us, okay? So we're going to bring it, all right? And we're going to take that. We'll clean it at the house, y'all, okay? Because we have to find a way. If we're going to do this every month, and I think it's a wonderful idea, we just have to be all hands on deck with what it means to like support each other with the cleanup, because that's the biggest component. And so Rupali was asked to do a little show and tell. Okay, what you got?
What have I got? Well, I just want to say the other concerns were about the time and effort it takes for certain individuals to maintain that cleanup and clearing, because it overlaps the meetings, whatever meetings we're having. So then it means that certain people are not coming to the meetings, and that doesn't feel great for those who are participating as the people who are staying behind to clear and clean. And then we also have a 30-year-old lift system. A lift system simply is your sewage system that moves water from a lower level to pumps it to a higher level, but it doesn't like solid waste. So if you put more of the food down the drain, we are taxing, not treating our lift system with kindness and care. So there's another aspect is product, that we are over-consuming product, whether it is the goods that we use for our cups and our napkins, or whether it's what we have in the bathroom for the toilet paper or the paper towels that are used to clean up. We're thinking about being aware of our impact on others and our impact on Mother Earth. So here's my first item. You get to hold the...
All right. So this is how Rupali does it, y'all. We're going to all have our own way to do it. What you got?
Okay. So this is called a gorgeous napkin and a placemat. Okay. You don't have to get crazy, but look, this is lovely. And then if you want to get real fancy, you can bring a nice glass for water, not alcohol. Or you can do it with something chintzy like a plastic cup. Okay? We have no attachment. And if you want to get real eco-friendly,
what you got there?
then what you do is you use a container like this, and you might have a plant-based bamboo knife, fork, and spoon.
You going for it.
And you basically take this, wipe it out. New demonstration. Okay? Yeah. You could have, this is Corel. My way to do it is bring Corel. And so what you do, get this up here, is you wipe this out. And all you have to do is wipe it into the trash, not the recycle, please. Recycle takes no food. Recycle takes no food. You wipe it into the trash. Now, when we get real good at this, we're going to have a compost bucket there, and we'll know what can go in the compost and what can go home to someone like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call her out. She doesn't even know I'm going to do this. Barbara's Chickens. I mean, we can be actually feeding Barbara's Chickens with some of the waste that we're putting down the sink. And the sink isn't where it belongs. Okay, got it? So if you take a moment, visualize this. He mentioned we already bring our offerings, our pot love dish. Our idea is to clean that by wiping it out if it's done. If it's not, need your help.
Y'all didn't know y'all was getting all this today, did you? Y'all thought y'all were coming to service, and we talking about potluck.
Look, see this? You can take You can take this, and this has just been wiped clean. It's still got gook on it. You don't want to put this in this nice bag because it's a nice canvas bag. You do this. You get a plastic bag, nice little plastic bag. You stick it in there. There's a dirty dish. If you're really going to get serious about this, you don't use plastic, you use paper.
All right, so believe it or not, there is more in here. So we're going to pause there, and we're going to say yes. Okay? Yes. Yes. So y'all, for our newcomers, welcome y'all. This, right? Welcome to service. So ultimately, what we're trying to articulate is we need all hands on deck. Okay, y'all? All hands on deck. And here's the thing. I'm asking every last one of us to dig a little bit deeper in terms of how we serve our community. Okay, y'all? So usually what happens is in a spiritual community, there's a handful of people who do the work. Behind the scenes, and sometimes you see like me or Rupali in the front. But for the most part, there's a army of people who's working behind the scenes. And by army, I mean 5 to 7, right? And so I'm asking all of us just to dig a little bit deeper in terms of how we serve, how we give. And I gotta tell you, y'all, it's a seed that's being planted in fertile soil. And the thing is, we don't get the fruit the day we plant that seed, right? We don't see the fruit the day we plant that seed. It has to be nurtured, and then it grows and then blossoms, and the next thing you know, it's beyond what you thought. You got a tree, right? So I'm inviting all of us just to dig a little bit deeper in terms of how we serve, how we give, right? We have a whole new security team. For example, there are people outside right now watching vehicles, right? There's a lot. So how do we give? And so this potluck idea is a beautiful one, and I think we help each other by not having all the cleanup on 1 or 2 people.
And we teach the kids.
I'm sorry?
And that way we can teach also our kids.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We can teach our kids. Yep. The reality is they don't listen to us. Right?
They watch us.
They watch us. Okay? The 2-year-old is not listening to me. All right? She is watching me. Okay? So if we can shift gears to our beauty project.
That's Steve today.
It's not Steve today. We have another one.
Merlin?
So Sally, if you can go to our beauty project slide. So for many of you, this is our second week doing the beauty project. Let's see. Let's do a little quiz. Let's see. Saradna, what's the beauty project? Yes.
For me,
What is it?
it's what makes you happy. It's what makes you joyful. It's what makes you feel connected to God. It's all of that which fulfills your life and the purpose on this planet. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? You want to know what makes me happy? What makes me happy is getting muddy. Seriously, when I am not fully connected to that which is, the best thing for me to do is get muddy. I get deep and dirty in the ground. I plant, I dig, I pull weeds, I rake the grass. I love that, and that makes me feel so expansive, so expansive.
Thank you so much, Saradna. So I'll put Saradna on the spot. So exactly as was said, Beauty Project is an opportunity for us to spend a couple of minutes to be in community, and where each of us once a week, we're going to share what we find beautiful, what makes us alive. And so we have a special gift, right? We have a beauty project that's embodied. Gabe, please stand. Come on, Gabe. Gabe is in the house. Okay. So I'm inviting Gabe in our beauty project segment. For those of us who are new here, is the opportunity for us to just share our beauty. And so Gabe represents our beauty project because Gabe has been in our community for years, okay? And so Gabe, I told Gabe about 5 minutes ago, I'm gonna bring you up, okay? So Gabe, in our beauty project segment, we basically just share what we find beautiful, what wakes us up. It could be anything. So you just landed from India. When did your flight come in? Give us some context.
Well, my flight came in a few weeks ago. I was in Canada. Then I went to visit a friend there. Went to Indiana, visit a friend. 3 a.m. this morning, I caught a flight, flew to Orlando. My father picked me up, and here I am.
Came here, okay? Came here. So shout out to Gary and shout out to Gabe. Okay, Gabe, we're gonna have like a 2-hour coffee anytime, but if you can just give us like, for you, what's coming up for you right now when you think about your time in India, you're going back soon. what, if you can share with us, like, is a moment of beauty that you experienced?
I'd say just the sense of connection, both with the community as well as within myself.
Any fun stories? Any sunsets?
I'll have to get back with you on that. But one thing I would like to do is do maybe an after-service presentation, and I'm going to show slides and pictures. and
That
everything.
is an excellent idea. You're off the hook. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you so much, Gabe. We love you. All right, y'all. So every Sunday we're gonna have it's gonna be a new participant, right? We're learning new things. I did not know that Saratna likes to get muddy. There we go. Let's go. We're gonna have a gardening party. Celeste, all of us, we doing it. Okay, thank you so much.
And I just have to tell you that this is what I meant by being in the flow, because you have to be able to be with the force called Ryan, because up until 10 o'clock this morning, Steve Henry had texted me and told me he was going to be here. So he knew that he wasn't here and had already made a switch. So this is what it is to be in this moment, okay? The next piece is what we always called the daily word, and then it has been expanded into a book selection, and that has been expanded into seeing something that you want to bring forward in that moment. So what I would like to do is bring forward Matthew 18:2-4, and I'll just read it very quickly. Assuredly, truly, I say to you, unless you are converted and become as the little child, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And to me, this says it all. Childlike faith ushers in the kingdom of heaven. We know the kingdom of heaven resides here within us, now, in this moment. And it is that childlike faith that has characteristics that allow us to be fully aware and fully present. Think of the image at the end of service when little Kenya, the 2-year-old, comes running in and leaps, just leaps. Luckily, she's believing that her father will pick her up and catch her as she does that, okay? Now, she trusts completely. The trust wholeheartedly, without fear or doubt. She has that sense of humility that she can depend on her daddy and can indeed, without any sense of pridefulness or ulterior motive, let's call it the agenda. She has no agenda. She hasn't seen daddy since the beginning of service. There's no agenda. I just want to come in, okay? And then if you look at the other 2 points I thought of, there is this childlike innocence and sincerity, but also this openness to learning. And so when I found this also I need to give credit to Melinda, because Melinda and I had lunch together on Friday, and we were brainstorming what would we think about bringing forward for faith, rather than doing the daily word. And for me, I came up with one of my scriptures was the one about if you have just this faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move the mountain. And she came up with this one, and we liked this one better. And so we just built this one out today. So now, opening prayer with Ryan.
All right, everybody. So as many of us knows, our roots in unity, the unity movement, actually began in healing. It began with healing. So Myrtle Fillmore, she healed herself, right? She healed herself in what we call affirmative prayer. And so when we say heal herself, what we're talking about is opening oneself up to the possibility that that can even happen. Now, for many of us, the limit to what's possible comes from the physician. So the doctor gives a diagnosis, and that's the limit of what we think is possible. And I'm here to remind us that that's not true. It's simply not true. And what Myrtle Fillmore did was she put herself on a regiment and said, I'm going to be all right. In fact, I am whole. And so whenever we have our opening prayers, what we do is we want to bring forward a name, a person, a community who could use a little bit more of what we call love, a little more of what we call prayer. So I'm inviting us to please stand. Please stand. And we're going to take a cleansing breath. And I want to say it is okay if it's your name that you want to put forward. But I trust that each of us in this community has a person that comes to mind right now in this moment. Right now in this moment, there is a person who is in need, and I'm using that word strongly, is in need of our prayer. What we're doing now is we're going to put their name here. And we're going to call forward wholeness for them. We're going to take a cleansing breath. And if it's your practice, we're going to close our outer eye, but we're going to keep our third eye awake, alivened. And we're going to send our clarity that we know we are beyond our physical body. We are more. And what we're going to do in this space is we're going to envelop. We're going to make a dome of love right here in the space we call unity. And we're going to introduce those names in this circle. Whenever you're ready, say their names. You can whisper it, you can mumble it, you can say it aloud, but we're going to call their names. And what we're going to do is we're going to open our hands. This is just a reminder that we are always in a space of receptivity. And we affirm that all those that we called forward, we see them whole and in perfect peace. We see them enveloped and overcome by what we call love. We affirm that they are on their sacred walk and they know it. We affirm in this moment that there is only divine perfection that has what we call mathematic precision, and it is done. That what we see is not their reality. And we affirm it, that they are whole, that they are perfect as they are, because there is only perfection. We hold that truth in ourselves. We know it to be so because there is only love. There is only oneness. There is only perfection. And with the extension of our hands, we in our hearts and our minds' eye wrap our arms around them. And we see them smiling and laughing and giggling. We see them frolicking. We see them shuffle off the appearance of pain. And we see them as whole. And we breathe that cleansing breath. And we hold that truth. We hold that truth. And we say, and so it is. And so it is.
As Rupali was talking about the mustard seed, I had a vision come back to me of being with my grandmother. And she had a necklace that had a mustard seed inside of it, and it was like a crystal around that. And as a child, I loved that necklace. And, in preparing for this service, Ryan and I had a little text exchange that inspired me to think about faith a little bit differently. And to, come to realization that we sow those seeds like the mustard seed, and we take a course of action, and we wait, and we do the next right thing, and we wait, and we see the seeds growing, and just have the faith that, this is in the divine mind, like this is the divine field, and so whatever is meant to come is coming already. And for me, that's like faith like a child. And I think that faith is intimately connected with bravery. And this is a song that I really love and inspires me. It's called If I Were Brave by Jana Stanfield. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed the wind would always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask for if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, there are miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? I am brave enough to walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers first dare to tread, and I'll never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step will I take today? I am brave. I am brave. I am brave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Penta Rose. Before you pack up, you got a concert coming up.
Yes.
So can we say, is it Karuna Cottage? Karuna.
Cottage.
Next Saturday.
Yes, with our own Shanna Smith
Yes.
as well.
And so it's a $10 to $20 donation, and y'all doing original music from your album? What are you doing?
We're doing a whole mix of things. We met this week at Humble Bagel to go over our set list, and it's really exciting. We've got a lot of songs where we'll have a group participation, some chants, some original music, some well-loved tunes, all to like help support us during this time of transition in the world, politically, just to help to bolster ourselves and strengthen ourselves in this time and call in the peace that we really see and our vision for peace in the world.
All right.
It's at 6:30 on Saturday.
And we got a flyer on the bulletin board, and we'll put another one out there. Yes, we got to represent.
And I think it's going out in the newsletter too.
All right, perfect.
So.
Perfect. Thank you so
All right,
much, Penta.
please join us. Thank you.
I like to make space for these kind of functions because we have artists all in this room. We got artists who are in choirs, and I've mentioned it before, but we show up for each other. That's what community looks like. Y'all, one of the most beautiful moments I experienced was going to Kip's celebration of life, right? So Kip is a longtime member here at Unity of Gainesville, and Jane, who was also a member, that was her love. That was her love. And so I asked our community, y'all, let's show up. Let's show up and let's show out. And do you know, Jane was like, I think it might be like maybe 50 people. It was 85 people that we counted because there were more out in the hallway that could not be allowed in because of the fire code. We showed up. We showed up. And for those of us who were not able to be there physically, we showed up in love, right? And so I want to encourage us. Community looks like we show up for each other. We show up. We're there. And so I want to, anytime we have functions, we do the oneness candle as a reminder that we are all one. I got to give a quick shout out. So Sean, raise your hand, Sean, wave your hand. Yes, you, Sean, yes. Sean is like, is there another Sean? Right? So I just want to celebrate Sean, right? Sean had this test, right? He is almost on his way to his doctorate, right? This was like another thing, getting closer to that goal. And so we have these huge things, these milestones, right? Y'all, we have healing that has happened in this room. Y'all, the healing stories I have heard is transformative. And we do this oneness as an acknowledgement that we are all here together. We're here together. And I want to do one last plug. In a couple of weeks, Christina, raise your hand. In a couple of weeks, I'm asking us to be here for Christina. Christina is at the very beginning of her sacred walk. So Edward, her husband of 50 years, he made his transition a couple weeks ago. And there are many of us in this community who knows firsthand what that feels like. And so I'm asking all of us on February 6th at 10 a.m. right here in this room, we show up. we show up. And if it's 20 of us, if it's 30 of us, however many can be here, we show up. And we are here in person and in body, wrapping our arms around you, Christina. We see you. We see you in all of those who are moving on their healing journey. Today, we're talking about faith. We're talking about faith, y'all. The funny thing about faith is that whatever your church walk or temple walk or mosque walk, whatever got you to Unity of Gainesville, faith was a part of that conversation at some point. It just was, right? Faith is one of those things that says, I don't know, I felt like coming. I felt like coming is you being led, right? So I love our newcomers. I don't know what brought y'all here, but there was some divine mathematic precision that said, let's go. Why not? Sure. Maybe you were invited. Maybe you saw a sign. And that happened for each and every one of us. Whether we've been here for 20 years or 20 months, each of us had a first time when we walked in this room. And we make that commitment every time we come back. That's a faith walk that say, yeah, all right, I guess I'll go. Yeah, okay. I said I'll do the greeter. Right? Whatever got us in the room, and then when we're here, we're like, I'm so glad I came. And it's not because of anything that's happening up here. It's because what we're doing for each other. Being seen and supported and lifted by each other. And so faith was a part of that. Faith was a part of that. I want to give you a quick story. So y'all know this is our very first Sunday without our piano here, our beloved piano. That piano was here for decades, right? Long, long time. In fact, the indentations in the carpet are probably permanent, all right? Thankfully, we're getting new carpet, right? And shout out to all the fellas who got this up and moved out of here last Sunday, right? That was a group effort. I think it was 8 of us that had to do that. It worked. We did it, okay? But I want to tell a quick story about that piano. A quick story. We're talking about faith. Since September, can we say September? Since September, we have been trying to give that piano away. I mean, the price was so reasonable. I mean, I was like, okay, somebody's going to snatch this piano. It was over 10 people. 10 people who came, who were in communication with the board members. Rupali was taking lead on that. Laurie was taking lead. It was all hands on deck trying to get this piano sold to make space to do this. Then we got a beautiful keyboard over here, right? Since September. And finally, last Sunday, I said, Rupali, how many times does the universe have to tell us not to sell it? To keep it? How many times? And I said, okay. Please call that person back you're supposed to see and just tell them we changed our mind. And Rupali was like, no, let's see it through. Let's just see what happens. I said, okay, cool. If this person says no, that piano is ours for a reason, okay? It's ours for a reason. Sure enough, guess what happened? No. It was a no. It was a no. They thought the piano was free. We was like, we love you, but it's not free. So all that to say, y'all, this piano and the proximity. Yes. So all that to say, y'all, there are times in our life when we're met by what feels like, why is this not working out? What am I doing? Y'all hear that? What am I doing? What am I doing? Let me fix this. Let me try this. What about this? The reality, y'all, it has nothing to do with the I. but everything to do with the I am. And when I say I am, I'm talking about supreme consciousness, that which we are a part of, that which we can't help but be enveloped by. So when we're met by what feels like a stop and go, and why isn't this working? This is a part of something bigger. And I know that resonates. I know that resonates. Each of us have been in relationships. We've been in jobs. We've been in you name it. And we're like, I can't figure out why this isn't working. We journal, we meditate, we do everything. We're like listening to podcasts, we're calling our friends, we're like venting, we're doing what we know because we know we're not crazy. And so we're reaching out to other people. Am I crazy? What am I doing? And the reality is it has nothing to do with us, but everything to do with something that includes all of us. Because what's for my greater good is for the greater good of everybody around me. It doesn't work where this person hits the jackpot and everybody else is suffering. That's not how the universe works. So when we pray for divine outcome, when we see perfection unfolding with divine lenses, we know that it's for the good of all involved. And when I was going through a tough pocket in my life, when I was in counseling, the counselor said, you got to change how you're praying. Because in my mind, I was digging deep, wanting it to look a certain way. And what she said was, you got to pray for the good of all parties involved. And that's hard, y'all. Especially when you know you did nothing wrong. Especially when you know you were the bigger person. Yeah, you might have, messed up a couple times, but in the aggregate, you did good. You did your very best. And now I got to pray for that person? Now I got to see divine outcome for that person? I got to see that person whole and happy? I don't want them happy. Am I making sense, y'all? No. We don't want to be driving at the stoplight. You look over and they're in a beautiful Corvette, top down, frolicking, listening to music. We don't want to see that. Okay? Rolly got a Corvette, right? We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. We can go down the why, we can go down that rabbit hole, right? But the reality is we don't want to see that because we know in our heart that we did everything we could. And for no reason, it didn't work out. And we're trying to figure out what's the justice? What's the payback? How do I get what I deserve because it didn't work out? I was treated unfairly. And what I'm here to remind all of us is that there is something, not a thing outside of us. Nah, I'm not saying that. When I say something, I mean there is a beautiful tapestry. So Barbara does crochet, right? So there is a beautiful tapestry that emerges, right? The way spirit works, there is not a force that's designing that. That's not how it works. It is perpetual evolution and movement toward growth. That's what nature looks like. We have these seasons and we put names on it. We call these different months to try to make sense of cycles. Without calling it January or December, we might not see any perceptual difference. But we put name on it so we can make sense of what's outside of us. Does that make sense, y'all? So we name these things that are natural, that exist without our branding. So we can feel a little more comfortable. So we can say, January is going to be a better month. It's the same. It's a cycle. Am I making sense, y'all? And so when we're met with an experience, and when we see the unfolding of the thing, it is beyond our thinking faculty, what we can brand on it, because our branding is for our own selfishness. It's because we're seeing it from our focal point. We're seeing it from our mind's eye. We don't see it from this other perspective and all the other people who are impacted by the choice that we make. Quick story. The other day, I was talking to my students, and in the exercise, I had them envision what they wanted, what they saw themselves 10 years from now. And they immediately went to the how. They started mapping out a plan. I said, okay, y'all, we're gonna let the how be for the universe. I want you to just 10 years from now, and they're like, whoa, I'm 27, that's old. I'm like, okay, yes, it's old. You're right. I'm 28. Whoa, what does that look like? I'm like, yes, okay, you're 28, okay? That's old. So I said, 28, you wake up, what does it look like? What does that morning look like? What's your routine? What does that day look like? Not, I'm working at a call center. What do you envision? And so it took about almost 2 hours because they had some dreams, y'all. They were going for it. And I was like, yes, okay. We got it. And at the end of class, I said, you know what, y'all? Not one of you said you wanted to be an NBA player. Not one of you said you wanted to be an astronaut. Everything that you said is doable. Not a single thing you said is not possible. And you should see how they looked at me. It was like something was lifted. And so I had them call out different artists who are their age doing the work that they want to do. And so they just started rattling off different names, different artists. And I say, y'all, that's your peer. That's not a North Star. That's your peer. That's lateral. Let's send the dream from this space of, oh, it will be cool, to this is possible. We can see it. Faith is not seeing it. Faith is holding the possibility and the release. Faith is holding that this is going to work out, and it might not be a Corvette. It could be something else. It could be better. Faith, y'all, it's amazing. In meditation, what was coming through was words are nothing but sounds. Y'all got me? A word is a sound. We went through roots earlier. A word is a sound. You know what makes sounds? Birds, traffic hums. Pretty much everything makes a sound, even down to the atomic level. It's vibrating, it's a sound. Waves are sound. Y'all, words are sound. The words that we speak mean nothing. They're nothing but articulated sound. So then what does matter? The vibrational tone we hold when we say the sound. So we can proclaim whatever we want. It's not the words we're saying. Because somebody could be speaking Arabic. Somebody could be speaking Shona. And we feel the vibration of that prayer. The words are important, yes. We want to affirm truth as we know it to be. Yes, that's important. But those words are nothing but utterances of sound. Our vibrational tone, that which we hold as true, that's what's important. So faith isn't the deepening and concentration of a thing. It's actually the lightness, the knowingness that it is done. It is done. It's light. Am I making sense, y'all? What we're going to do, we're going to lift up the area in our life that could use a little more of this, what we're talking about, a little more love. We've been putting faith on it because we've been working on this thing. If it's our finances, we got a lot of caretakers in this room. Whatever area of your life where it's like, there is this, things are good, but then there's this thing. There is this thing, this pocket. We're going to lift that and we're going to put this love on it. This vibration of truth, knowing that it is done. Can we do that? So what we're going to do is, I know y'all already got it, but I want to encourage you. I want to invite you to do it. So just lift up into your thoughts. We're not going to be concerned about, oh my goodness, there's that person. It's not that. We just know it's there. Okay, boom, it's there. What we're going to do is, we're going to take this into meditation. We're going to see that name, that entity, that bank account, whatever it is, we're going to see it enveloped, almost like in the middle of a balloon. It's floating in the middle of a balloon. Just think of a sphere. And that sphere of light, we're going to put that thing in the middle of that light. And what we're going to do is, we're going to hold the truth that that thing, just like a balloon, is going to lift up. It's going to lift up. We're going to take a cleansing breath. And we're seeing and we're feeling the lightness of that lift. It is up and inside that sphere. And in a moment, we're going to let it go. And we will physically feel the lightness, the load lifted off of our shoulders. We were carrying a body. It is lifted off of us. We're going to keep sending love. Keep putting love in that balloon and that sphere. Keep putting light. Infuse light into that circumstance, into that person. Pour more love into it, more light into it. Whatever it is, whoever it is. And in a moment, it is going to lift, go sky high, and be done. It is done. Whenever you're ready, you are going to lift and clip the little ribbon that's connecting you to that balloon. Just snip it. It is done. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, see it float. See it float up into the sky, in that blue sky and those beautiful clouds. See that lift off of you. It is done. Let's take a cleansing breath. We will operate with a faith that whatever we put in that balloon, it is done. It is done. We are light. We are light. We are light. Can y'all take that in? Can we smile on that? We are light. As Penta Rose prepares to play, we're going to shift gears into our giving. And here's the thing, y'all. The giving is a continuation of this other thing. All right? So often in services, you got the spot for the announcements, and you got the spot for the song, and then you have the spot for the other thing. This is not a spot for offertory. Are we clear? Because our giving is a part of our releasing. It's a part of our faith walk. Can we do that? So let's take our giving, whatever it is that we have to give, whatever amount, whatever it is. I want us to place that amount energetically over our heart. And we're going to bless it, y'all. We're going to bless this seed because it's about to flourish and produce fruit beyond what we thought was even possible. And so we say, this seed, may it nourish and water the community we call unity.
The community we call unity.
We see it abundantly blessed
We see it abundantly blessed
and welcome its return
and welcome its return
in grace and perfect ways.
in grace and perfect ways.
And so it is.
So it is. Well, this song is the fruit coming forth from some seeds that I've planted in producing my own music. This song is called Every Day. I know you must love me, 'cause you keep showing up for me. I know you must love me dearly. You keep coming in clearly every day, as much as you can. You show up for me. And you take my hand, you help me live for my dreams. It's more than I imagined I could reach for in this life. You must love me, you have hopes for me. You must want my happiness. You must love me, 'cause you take my hand. You come here every day if you can. Oh, The hardest thing is to show up when your heart feels shut down. You feel like you can't pretend. You must love me. You have hopes for me. You must want my happiness. You must love me, 'cause you take my hand. You come here every day if you can. You stick up for me. And you show me that I am important to you. Here you are with me when my heart needs to learn. love you back more than you know. You must love me. You have hopes for me. You must want my happiness. You must love me, 'cause you take my hand. You come here every day if you can.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penta Rose. Are the kiddos nearby? Are the kiddos nearby? All right, they've been waiting. They could come on and jam. We could have a party up in here.
You want to shine in our little lights, everybody? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Y'all can
let
come
it
over here.
shine, let it shine.
What? Do y'all see this? Yes. Oh my goodness. We clapping for y'all because y'all look amazing, by the way. I'm just saying. What's up, Miss Gwen?
The house is full. And we have some new folks, some new friends. Camilla, there she is. And Mara, there she is. And Zena. And I forgot his Daniel. And Daniel. All right. She has a heavy backpack of stuff. It's very valuable. She has to keep it with her. Today we reviewed about the story of Peter walking on the water, and Miss Phyllis wanted to finish one little thing.
Well, last week when we finished with how Peter was sinking, and Jesus came over and pulled him up and said, "Oh, you of little faith." But you know, that's not the end of the story for Peter. Peter went on, and Peter, faith, and John, love, went about performing all kinds of miracles just like Jesus did. And some of you may not know, but Peter raised Tabitha from the dead. Tabitha was a female disciple. So that's one of the many miracles that Peter went on to do. So whereas when Peter was walking on the water and his faith faltered, that wasn't the end of it. That was just the beginning, because then he began to realize that, yes, I could do this. I just did this. And like Jesus told him, you'll be able to do more than I did. And that's true of each one of you. And you probably already have and are not even aware of it.
Thanks, Phyllis. And real quick, we talked about Martin Luther King, who had faith that all men would be able to be treated equally in the world, and we did all kind of pictures.
Thank you, Miss Gwen. Thank you. And just to add on what Phyllis said, so here at Unity, we look at the Bible as a metaphysical text, right? So Jonah was not eaten by a whale, right? It's a beautiful metaphor in terms of how we look at spirit and the evolution of what we call human beings. And so thank you for that reminder, Phyllis. And so, as an example of how we think about our kids, is embodied in our affirmation. So let's just look at the words, right? So we're saying you are perfect just the way you are. The divine, magnificent, out picturing of source. And we're saying everything you desire is yours. Why? Because you and God are one. Okay, so if Rez was here, we would practice it, but y'all got it. We'll do it together, okay? So, Nana, you want to do it? Here, let's do it. Okay, let's together. Children, you are perfect just the way you are. The divine, magnificent, outpicturing of source. Everything you desire is yours because you and God are one. We'll get it, y'all. We love you. We really, really. All right, y'all, let's circle up. We're going to have a rap battle in here. With Penta Rose and the ones and twos. Let's circle up. Nah.
Where your shoes at, girl?
Okay.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God surrounds us. We are light. Love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is. We are divine, and all is well.
All right, y'all, if we could look at that camera, we want to just wave at all of our loved ones who are unable to be here physically. We see you as whole, and we can't wait to wrap our arms around you. All right? All right, y'all, have a good week.